Okay, folks, right. Welcome back. Right.
Setting up the camera.
Okay. That's much better. Right, Bismillah.
Setting up the camera.
Okay, folks, welcome back. So we carry on the theme of introducing this topic of estimating answers on the Mathworks Grade C Clip 101. We've done the background work, we've done rounding to the nearest whole number in the previous video, and in this video we're going to be rounding to the nearest 10, 100 and 1000. Okay, ready, Hassan? There. Right, rounding to the nearest 10. So let's have a look at these numbers here. This first number is in the units position, the second one is in the tens, and we want to round to the nearest 10. So that's the figure that we're interested in, and so we can pop down here a line. Nice thin dotted line, and that's going to be called the last digit. And the next one has to be called the decider. If the decider is 5 or more, what do we do? Add 1. Is that 5 or more? Yes, it's 5. So add 1 to the last digit. So now the answer becomes 3 over here. Now, in the previous question we said, in the previous video, when you rounded to the nearest whole number, we stopped at the decimal point. Where is the decimal point in this particular question, Hassan? It's going to be at the end. So we have got a gap until the decimal point. So that gap you have to fill it with a 0. So here we have to fill 0. We can't round off 25 and get 3. It doesn't make any sense. We've lost a lot of information. 25 can be rounded off though to 30 though. That doesn't make sense. So there's 10. So we round it off and we've got to fill in that gap with a 0 up to the decimal point. I got that now. And that's the answer. And that is rounded to the nearest 10. The next question. Okay. We have 69.4. So here's my units. There's my tens. So we round to the nearest 10. So that's the one I'm interested in. So I'll drop it down on here. This one will be called the decider. Last digit. Decider. Decider is 5 or more, so we add 1 to this. 6 add 1 is? 7. Now, how many? So we have a gap until the decimal point and another gap. What do we do now, Hassan?
You put zeros in there.
You put how many zeros?
2.
1. Because you stop always at the decimal point. When you round it to the nearest 10, you don't go beyond the decimal point. Even though there's actually original number there, we must stop at the decimal point, and that's it. So the number 69.4 rounded to the nearest 10 is 70, not 70.0. 70.0 would actually be incorrect. That would be wrong. So here's the next question now, 66. So, Layla, units, tens. Yes? So we look at the tens, nearest 10, so that becomes our last
digit.
and that becomes the decider. So the decider here is 6, which is basically means it's more than. Okay, should we just change this question because we've done one, adding 1, adding 1. Let's just change this question quickly to a number which is, for example, like 1. To give us a different type of answer. Now, the decider is 1. If the decider is less than 5, we leave the last digit alone, copy it down. So the 6 gets copied down, we don't do nothing to it, because that was less than 5. We don't do any rounding up. Now we have a gap here. So what do we do with the gap?
0.
Put a 0. And we stop at the decimal point, which is there. Okay? So the final answer is 60. Okay, folks, are we happy with that? Is that making sense? Yeah? Alright, next one. Round is nearest 100. First of all, let's quickly identify what the hundredth place value is. Units, tens, hundreds. That one. Tenths, hundreds, tenths, units. 100, units, tens, hundreds. Let's try that again. Okay, so this one point here. This is our units, tens, hundreds, tens, and hundreds. I think I got slightly carried away there, a bit too excited. Okay, folks, apologies for that. Right, here we go. So we've labelled everything according to the place value, and also we're interested in the hundreds. Next one, units, tens, hundreds, hundreds. So in these questions here, these are the numbers that we need to look at. I'll stop there. So, right, for now I'm going to get rid of all the extra bits. Right. What do we call the digit that we're interested in? We call that the last,
Last digit.
and the next one's called the
Decider.
decider. So this one's called the,
Last digit.
and the next one's called the,
Decider.
this one's called the,
Last digit.
and the next one's called the
Decider.
decider. Okay, thank you, Zaifa. Right, now we look at the question. Okay, now, Layla, in this question you have 360. We can write it as 100. The 6 is the decider figure, is telling us what to do to the last digit. If the decider is more than or equal to 5, what do we add to the last digit?
Add 1.
We add 1. So then 3 add 1 becomes
4.
4. Now, what do we do with the other two places? Do we copy the numbers down? Or do we fill it with?
0.
Fill it with zeros. Up to the decimal point, which is here, and we stop there, we don't go any further. So 360 round to the nearest 100 is
400.
400. Excellent. Okay, next one, Mr. Hassan. We have 475.32. We identified this as going to be our last digit. That's the decider. What's the decider telling you to do?
Decider's telling you that it's more than 5.
There's more than 5 or more. So what do we do to the last digit then?
You add 1.
You add 1. If the decider is more than or equal to 5, you add 1. So we add 1 to this. So 4 add 1 is
5.
5. What do we do? We got loads of spaces now. In this particular question, let's look at all the spaces. We have 1, 2, point, and we got 4 spaces left of the number. Right, where do we stop in this number, Hassan?
You stop.
Okay, hang on, let me just get rid of this number first of all. It's too close, way too close. Right, where do we stop?
You stop before the decimal.
Stop at the decimal point. So in this question here, you got to stop here. So this part of the question gets completely cut off and binged.
Yeah.
Okay, it gets truncated. You have to stop there. So we only fill up how many zeros? 2. Only fill 2 zeros. So the number 5 becomes 500. So 475.32 gets rounded off to 500 and not to 500 point note. That'd be wrong. Okay, happy with that? Good. Okay, next question. Was I able to check that movie again?
Good, sir.
The next one is rounded as 1000. We got 4125 and 3657.4 and 2003. I think what we should do, learn from our previous. Okay, Hassan, have you copied these numbers down?
Yeah.
Have they already done? Yeah, I need to drop them off and rewrite them in a different position. Alright. Give me the next number. What was the next one?
3657.4.
367.
3657.4.
Okay, 3657.4. And what was the last one?
2003.
Okay, 2003.
Answers 2.
Okay, right, here we go. Right, now, just give them a bit more spacing. So, 4,125, we need to round to the nearest 1,000. We need to find the thousands place value. So, units, tens, hundreds,
4,000.
and we have thousands here. So, we're looking at this figure here. That's going to be called our last digit. And the other ones are now going to be, this other one's here going to be called the decider. So, Huzaifa, now, in this particular question, we have decider is 1.
1.
If the decider is less than 5, we leave the last digit alone and just copy it down. Now, what do we do, Hassan, with the remaining 3 gaps up to this moment? What do we do them? We have to fill them up with zeros. So the answer becomes 4,000. Okay, next question. You have 3,657.4. We've got a point in there this time. We're going to round this one to the next 100 as well. So again, let's start identifying the place value. Point, units, tens, hundreds, thousand. That's the one. Okay? Alright? So if that's the one, here this one, we don't need this anymore. So that becomes the last digit. It's important that we use this last digit decider until you become a, actually use it all the time. And the next one has to become the decider. So in the previous question the decider was less than 5. Layla, this question the decider is more than 5. If the decider is greater than or equal to 5, we must add 1 to the last digit.
4,000.
So we're going to add 1 to this. So 3 add 1 is 4. And now we have how many gaps? 1,
3.
2, 3, and we stop at the decimal point. We don't go further. So how many zeros do I fill in, Layla? 3. Okay.
Well, that's great.
Okay. Okay. So that gives us an answer of 4,000. So 3,657.4 rounds up to a nice big. I call these numbers chunky numbers because they're nice numbers to deal with. I'd rather deal with 4,000 than deal with this. I'd rather deal with 4,000 than deal with that. It's a nice number to deal with in calculations. Next one, 2003 is a nice easy one, hopefully.
2,000.
So we have here units, tens, hundreds, and thousands. Okay. So Hassan, which one are we looking at? The 2. That's called the last digit. And the next one's called the decider. Okay. Mr. Nazaifa, can you?
Huh?
You there.
Huh?
Do this. Oh. Okay, right. So, Hassan, the decider is?
Less than 5.
Okay, so we leave that, we copy down the 2.
2.
Now, Layla, I've copied down the 2. The last digit should be the last digit. There shouldn't really be any digits after, apart from the gaps that we have here. We have 3 gaps. So what do we do with the gaps?
Put zeros in there.
Put zeros in there. So 1, 2, 3, fill up to the decimal point, and there you go, finish. So the answer is 2,000. Okay, folks, right. I want you to do the following question. I'm going to give you a sheet to do some questions. Please join us back in the next video. Thank you. Oh my, that's nice.